Big is at it again with not one, but Hawk 2 residential towers located in Chelsea, New York. This new addition is starting to make this part of Chelsea look like a Call of Duty Warzone map with all the diverse architecture. Now, this is not the first time that we've seen Bjark do this twisting move. We've seen him do it in Coconut Grove, the Grove, that twisting double tower located in Miami, and we've also seen it at the Vancouver House, which is the Vancouver, Canada building. And although he's done it before, I can't say that this one is better than the other ones. So apparently the twisting is done for a few reasons. The first reason is that when you have two towers located like this, like you have a bunch of peeping toms looking across each other into each other's apartments, like when you have a courtyard. So what Big does is that they separate that, they angle it like this so that now they can peek over each other's shoulders. So that's the first reason. The second reason why they do it is that they add the little twist, right, to give more of a view, more of a panoramic view to the Hudson River, which is the main focal point of this project. Now, normally I tend to appreciate the simplicity of Big's design, and I don't mean simplicity in a bad way. I mean simplicity as Big usually tends to make one or two big, no pun intended, moves when they make their projects, rather than 1,000 little moves. And what that does is that it makes their projects really easy to understand at a first glance, whereas some other architects who tend to do a lot of things make their projects look kind of busy. The problem with the one highline is that it's very boring to look at. Even though there's twisting going on, there's really not much to look at except for twisting, travertine, and glass. When I see this project, I get the same feeling that you get when a new iPhone is going to be announced, where you're excited and you're like, I wonder what kind of new things it's going to do, what kind of features or fun things. And then you end up finding out that iPhone's doing the same thing that they've been doing for the last 5 years. That's exactly how I felt when I looked at this project. It's like I'm looking at, like, I wonder what kind of cool concepts it's going to have, and there's really nothing. The most apparent thing when you look at this project beside the twisting is the amount of windows that there are, which each one of them has this interesting little feature. It's like a little fin that it has where the trim is supposed to be that kind of pops out that might cause a few little shadows here and there, but that's pretty much it. Beside that, all you see is windows. I mean, there are a ton of windows. There's so many windows that it feels like I'm looking at a building designed by Mr. Beast for his next video called 1 versus 10,000 Windows. And the facade is terrible. When you focus on those pictures, the travertine, the way that they connected it at the edges, instead of doing some interesting joinery at the edges where the two travertine stone connects, what they did is that they overlapped them, and there's a ridge that goes from top to bottom, and it's the worst connection I've ever seen. It is so shoddy and it is so crooked that it's at risk of getting blamed for collusion at the next presidential debate. And these pictures are not from Google, right? They're not like edited. These are straight from Big's website, which is kind of funny because Big's website is actually big.dk, and I'll let you run free with your imagination as to what the DK stands for. Now, if you want to feel really depressed, take a look at their floor plans. I went over to the leasing company and started scanning through some of them, and I quickly became apparent that the more expensive the unit is, the less oblique angles you have. Meaning that the cheaper you go, the more strange angles you're gonna find in your apartment. It's almost like you have to pay this premium to live here already, but then if you actually want to be comfortable and have most of your space be usable, then you have to pay more of a premium to get one of the square units. It's kind of like when you sign up for Hulu and you pick their cheapest plan because you don't want to spend a lot of money, and then you end up having to watch ads anyway. Like, what's the point? Now, ironically, because of these architecture ads, you can't have a TV centered in your room in front of your bed. You have to have it like in the corner of the room, like some abandoned child, because there's no symmetry inside these rooms. Everything is just made to fit in the envelope of the building. So if you do want to watch TV, you kind of have to do this number where you like stare at the corner of your room, or if not, you have to get a screen that's installed, or you can hire a carpenter to just retrofit your whole entire apartment as you're moving in. Because let me tell you, one of my favorite things to do is buy a very expensive unit and then have to remodel the whole thing as I'm moving in. I'm telling you, there's so many like strange angles that you find that are just not usable. Take the master closet, for example, in the one bedrooms. This thing is full of so much unusable space that you could talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson about it and it would bring a tear to his eye. And the great room, it feels so cramped, because you're sharing a small space already with a dining table. So you have to decide if you want a TV or a dining table or a mix of everything. And the kitchen island is right there. So everything is just being shared with everything else. Now, this all wouldn't be a huge problem, except you have to remember that you're paying minimum $2 million for each one of these units. I'm definitely not their target market audience, but it just bothers me when I see spaces like this being designed and being built, and they don't really make any sense whatsoever. Now, you don't have to be Terrence Howard on the brink of discovering a new mathematical frontier to look at this building and understand that it just doesn't work. But it just aggravates me when I see a cool recipe, right? The recipe is a good architect. In my opinion, he's a good architect who takes a really nice plot of land and you mix them together and make this spaghetti of garbage. Like, you look at it and there's really nothing that you can look forward to. Like, let's say that you are a millionaire who's moving into this apartment. Like, what exactly are you doing this for? For the view? Like, go buy a house on a mountain somewhere, or go buy a giant screen TV and put YouTube Hudson River 24/7 and just look at that instead, because you're not going to get anything else. Now, some of the interior spaces are interesting. They did a good job with the interiors, but the thing is that interiors can make almost any interior space look good. So you're basically doing all these really big and really cool moves and spending all this money to at the end have a product that only does one kind of good thing, which is the interiors. It just makes no sense and it really aggravates me. I by no means think this is like the worst project in the world or anything like that, and I don't think it's like Bjark's worst project ever. I just think that there was so much potential here for this kind of project, and there was so much that could have been done, and at the end you just have the result of these two twisting towers that has nothing else to offer. I'm not here sitting like looking for innovation 100% of the time. I'm not here architecture has to help the world 100% of the time or do something different every single time. But at the very least, I think it should be interesting, and this project really doesn't offer much interest, to be honest.